What's up, family? We are back for another show. First off, I want to send good vibes to Troy. He is not feeling well tonight, so y'all please send all the good vibes that you can his way. We hope that you feel better. We definitely know how it is when you're just not feeling good, and you can't give your best when you're not feeling good. So to me, your health and wellness is more important. So we miss you, but take care of you, and that's what's important. So y'all, please send Troy some good vibes. So we're going to get into tonight's topic. Thank you all for joining us on another Black Conversation. As you can see, it's always me and Jeff.
Well, people don't believe in, being on time. CP time seems to be the norm. So
it's always me and Jeff, but it's a good topic tonight. So
anybody knows from Code Red, they know I'm always late. I mean, we be nigga late, okay? But it ain't my fault because I did my other one the other day and we was right on time. So
I be going to sleep on Code Red, but like, listen, y'all supposed to be starting up, but I'm tired. I done worked all day.
It don't be my fault, I promise. People want to make changes last minute, and I'm just like, you had all day because you ain't working. But anyways, so how are you?
I'm good. Y'all, thank God that Troy texted me because I would have still been working. It's one of those weeks because I've been getting texts from people that's like, oh my God, today was and I feel like this is kind of what it is, so maybe the show's right on time and trying to get your mind off of stuff. So if you had a crappy day, come on, relax and laugh with us, and we gonna get into it. And the show might not be as long as we normally do, but we gonna get into it tonight. And we got a good topic tonight, and so maybe we got the two right people right now. But tonight we're talking about the friend zone. And listen, nobody likes the friend zone. Nobody really likes being in the friend zone, but the other hand is people don't know. Lord Horace is in the desert somewhere in Vegas and Los Angeles, so he don't have a signal. So we won't be seeing Horace tonight. But yeah, so sometimes, hi Scott, hi Saul, we appreciate you all for coming on tonight. Sometimes the friend zone is inevitable. You might not like it, but baby,
I have a lot to say. I'm just letting you do your, because when I'm gonna just say this.
That people, when it comes to the friend zone, seriously though, but when it comes to the friend zone, I think that sometimes people send mixed signals. I am very blunt. If I ain't interested, I ain't interested. I ain't gonna waste your time on mine. I'm not one of those people. You know what I'm saying? But I've never had. I think that in all of my relationships with my male friends, I always had male friends that had girlfriends. And so it was that
females as friends.
Right. And so I was I was going like whoever they dated, I'm like the sister that okay, this is my sister, you need to know she gonna always be over here, ain't nothing going on, whatever. And sometimes I'm the sister that's gonna be like, you need to get rid of that heifer. She ain't got your back. You know what I mean? And so I honestly can't relate to the friend zone because I guess I'm very blunt and clear about my boundaries. I also don't believe in playing no games. Like, listen, we grown adults. Just if you ain't interested, ain't interested. But I understand how people get in the friend zone because you send mixed signals. Stop sending mixed signals. Mm-hmm. Don't be over here wanting to sleep with somebody 1 minute and the next minute you don't want nothing to do with them. Listen, it can't be both ways. You better figure it out and decide what you want. Either you're going to be the side piece or you're just going to be friends or whatever, but you got to figure it out. And I think that part of the friend zone confusion and the whole, people say it's complicated. It ain't complicated. Y'all make it complicated because you want it.
Well, I'm going to put a wrinkle in that, speaking from my own experience. And I want to put a disclaimer. I'm not talking about any one person. Listen to what I'm saying carefully. Not talking about one person right now. What it is whether you meet at a bar, on a website, whatever, you need to, the biggest thing that people need to learn is they need to go ahead and say what it is up front. and that's the easy thing to do. Here's the
Right.
problem. Here's the problem with that people are going to, and this has been my problem in the past. The problem is when you tell them you just want to be friends, that person that wanted you or you were interested in might have wanted to do more, whether it was sexually or something. So what happens is people would manipulate, or they will lead someone on to get either money from them, to get favors, sex, attention. And then once they've gotten what they want out of the person, it's they're in too deep, or there's drama because that person might be crazy.
Right.
And I have had situations in the past where I've had that knock at my door
At 2, 3 o'clock in the morning,
4 in the morning when
and folks busting out your windows, being crazy.
yeah. Or I walked outside, I had 4 flat tires, and I was just like, what the hell did I do to you?
Right.
And I didn't even realize that they felt away. But sometimes people don't notice that you don't want their attention. I'm not,
Right.
I'm not trying to sound arrogant. We've all been through this. But
I think also too, somebody may have put a bug in somebody's ear at the same time. So there's that outside piece where you've got somebody else that might be putting a bug in somebody's ear about you, and you don't know that somebody else is playing a different angle, and that's a whole mess in and of itself. And that's where I feel like sometimes some people need to reevaluate they social circles, because some people who acting like your friend, they really not your friend. I think that's just what Jeff said. Some people are around you based on their need of what you can bring to their life. So if you can get them in the club real easy, you can get them in sections real good, and all of this other kind of stuff, that things that matter to a lot of other people, they'll do whatever they can just to be next to you, but they really aren't your friend. So guess what? They want to, and some people just genuinely like drama, and they know this person is crazy, deranged, lunatical. But they want that kind of drama. So they know full well you're not interested. They know full well that's not your type. But whatever they can do, and they'll sit there and act like they all sweet and innocent. No, they're not. It's snakes right in your grass with you. You just need to check them.
You just said a serious word right there. So let me, like I said, I can only speak from experience. By the way, I did not come up with this topic. So then I wanted to address what Scott said.
Yeah.
Scott's always on point.
That friends with benefits thing?
Yeah. Well,
it's a mess. It creates more problems.
I'm an advocate for it to an extent, and we'll get to that. And I was gonna, and Scott, I need to message you anyway. Scott is a Lithuanian, okay? He was where I was Saturday at the birthday party. But I was gonna say, you ain't said nothing about a word. Like you said, people put bugs in ears. There's been times, not even with friend zone, and I'll bring this up later, but you'll meet somebody and you have someone in your circle, or someone who don't know you that well, someone who's threatened by you or doesn't want you to compete with you. What do people do when they can't compete with you? They have to tear you down.
They sure do.
They don't know they can't level up, so they have to tear you down. And I've gotten once I walk away, they whisper and go, oh, he gets around. Oh, he's married. Oh, he has this. Oh, he lives this lifestyle. And it's just like, so then that person the thing is, they don't realize that person always tells me who said it, what was said. And then they know me, and then they look at that person and go, that even if we don't end up doing anything or being whatever, I'm not going to be interested in that person. So that's a big one.
I think a big part of it too, what you just said, was maturity. People lack if you're going to be friends with benefits, it takes a lot of maturity, because you got to know that this basically is a hit it, split it, and quit it situation. This ain't finna turn into no romance. This is all lust. This is not finna turn into no romance. This ain't finna turn into no ring on your finger. This ain't finna turn into no wedding vows. This ain't finna turn to happily ever after. And I think that this is where people go left with the whole friends with benefits, because they start getting delusions of grandeur, because now your feelings is involved, and this other person you just a jump off. And you need to know your place. I think the problem is people want to you get in the friend zone when you want to step out of that place that you in from the beginning.
Right.
And I always say, how you want to, whatever relationship you start with, is friends with benefits, friend zone, whatever, know your role. If you started off as a side piece, know your role. Don't try to step into the main role, because just because you want to shift gears don't mean that the other person that you with want to shift gears too.
Okay. Well, real quick with that. Here's the other problem too that people are not upfront with about friends with benefits. They do not. They will say friends with benefits, and they'll be fooling around for a couple months, and all of a sudden you see that Facebook post that says so and so's in a relationship, and it ain't with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another problem. So that
triggers people because then you feeling some type of way. Oh, I ain't good enough for you to be in a relationship with. That won't the context of what we had together. You want to change the contract. Please understand that friends with benefits is a contract. Okay, it might not be on paper, but it's a verbal understanding. It's a physical understanding that this is what it is. And so people get in their feelings because now this other person is in a serious relationship, because now guess what? My jump off is probably about to come to an end, and I don't have no other alternative. So now I'm finna flip out and go crazy because my good thing, my stroke, my itch scratcher ain't my itch scratcher no more.
Okay, well, not the itch scratcher.
I
am going to steal that one. Well,
I mean, when you talk about friends with benefits, that's literally your role, to scratch this itch that I got when I want it. That's it.
Well, let's define friends with benefits, because I know we posted this code red, and I need to actually, and Ringside is good with this. When someone brings a topic one time, y'all know to not let it duplicate. I need to start getting better at this because it's been brought up 12 times, just like polyamorous relationships been brought up 30 times. But I think in our cases, people are looking for something. But that's okay. We want to enlighten people. But what I want to say is, my definition of friends with benefits is, for instance, we could be cool, we can hang out, we can be go dates, whatever, without the immediate expectation of dating. But there is an understanding that there might be sexual interaction. The one, and two, I might be dealing with other people. That's the thing that people communicate.
That's what dating is. To me, that's what dating is.
Plus sex.
I mean,
the benefits part is the biggest word right there.
Correct.
Right.
But it's just like some people you date may not be your friend though. So to me, I understand that piece, because some people you date might not be your friend. So for instance, like, I don't know if y'all listen to Steve Harvey, but I listen to the Strawberry Letter at 8 o'clock every morning. The topic this morning was a dude.
Oh no.
Who's the side piece to a woman in a relationship with another woman. She's the friend. She always hanging out with everybody, with all the dudes and blah, blah, blah. And she was basically, they all got drunk one night. She was the designated driver, his designated driver, and all of this kind of stuff. Long story short, they ended up sleeping together that night. And then the next morning. And so 3 months later, they still sleeping together. But she got a relationship, and now he don't want to be the side piece no more. He want to be it. And he don't know how to approach her about it. Sir, listen to me. Listen to me.
So he didn't get the context clues. He didn't realize he was just some you-know-what, because she can't get a real you-know-what. I'm just saying, sorry.
I'm like, the implications, he's like, well, what's the, should I just let it go? If I do bring it up, how could this affect the rest of the pool of friends and all this other kind of stuff? And it's just like, listen.
Speaking as the man, I'm going to just be real. If it were me, he probably had the fantasy of it being a threesome or a polyamorous thing, possibly. And maybe when he realized that the women were focused on each other and he was just the piece of meat that she needed, because she probably got tired of the rubber,
plastic, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know if it's made out of gel. What is that thing made out of?
It's already, they have different types of materials that they make. Some of them are made out of glass, crystals. I've seen a lot of different ones, but I think that I want to go with what Trevor is saying here. When people say benefits, the sex is the only benefit. That's when we talk about friends with benefits, that's what it is. Benefits is literally sex. So when you hear friends with benefits, please understand they asking for the benefit equals sex. If you're going to be, I want your listening ear to be there when you, no. Friends with benefits.
Or a sugar daddy situation.
Right. And but in that case, at some point, you're going to have to break them off.
Yeah. And I've seen older men deal with these young women and in other cases, whatever else. And they get a little possessive and people end up getting killed.
Yes, they do. And it's real. It really is.
and it's heartbreaking. It's never okay to murder or kill anybody. Let me be clear. However, I am going to say it. There are times that people could avoided situations where they do not get killed, or they don't, or even people, and I, like I said, I have had drama in my past for not being 100% honest or direct about what I wanted up front, or
Right.
I was dealing with someone and we were going through stuff, and I was in one of my immature moments where I said, you know what, I'm just going to do me, F them, and I was Fing others. And it caused, and what ends up happening is when me and that person rectify, I done already, I done created a womb of an open womb, and it's wrong.
I think that again, it's what Reggie is saying here. You got to communicate from the beginning what it is, and get an understanding and agreement of what this is, and then don't ignore the warning signs. Like Ike is saying, people gonna show you who they are the whole time. People, like, don't sit here and close your eyes and feel like, oh no, they're not really like that. No, baby, when people show you who they are or what they want, when you start seeing them red flags, when you start seeing people switch up and change up, when you start hearing it and you get that feeling that something ain't right, listen, don't just ghost people either. Like, don't do that. If you mature enough to be in here swapping DNA with people, then be mature enough to have a conversation. Just say, this ain't working. Now you got to understand that some people are deranged, lunatic, or crazy. And I said what I said. Case in point, it's a video on Instagram. Girl is crazy. She done tore up the dude's car, done set his clothes on fire. She talking about his mama. He done pressed charges. I said, ma'am, you going to jail. It's all kinds of crazy stuff. Let me tell y'all something. I ain't never had no penis so good that make me want to tear up nobody's car, set no clothes on fire, fight nobody. It's not that serious. It's 8 billion people on this planet. Okay? I don't care what percentage of it married. Listen to me. They got plastic toys if it's that serious. You got a hand, 2 hands. Like, it's nothing ever that good that's gonna make me go and tear up somebody else's stuff. Like, ma'am, you finna go to jail. You got a whole child who finna be without 2 parents. Cause both of y'all crazy, cause he ain't about 2 cents. And she crazy, deranged, and her mind about to go to jail for real. For what? Like, ain't nothing that good that you got to step out of character. Like, but pay attention to the warning signs when people be all left field and 90-day
Okay. So speaking of that, everyone I hate Tyler Perry. Well, no, I'm not going to quote acrimony because that was a little bit different. They were actually married, so that's different. But we laugh. A lot of people laughed at Taraji's character, but there have been people who have not even been married to stuff or to other people, and they act stupid, or they'll try to sabotage something, not understanding their place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me bring up another point. We talk about friends with benefits, but there are open relationships. I have friends who are married or in open relationships who invite a third person in, not to date them, but like just they mess around with them because their person is working a lot or
in
New York or something, right? And then they go to a party, they sleep with a group of friends or do
they swinging.
They doing something crazy, and then the husband or the wife at home is pissed because they didn't open up a can of worms. But that's your understanding. And what ends up happening is, that person that they invited in or went and slept with while the other person went home because they were too drunk at a party, they done have made a connection.
Right.
And here you go, you have a whole mess at home, but you got a ring on your finger.
Right.
And that
my thing is, listen, the moment you invite anybody between your legs, I ain't gonna say in your bed because folks don't always have sex in the bedroom. The moment you invite somebody between your legs, you need to understand the ramifications, the implications. And you don't know what they're sex education level is. Let me say it like
You
that.
mean,
Because
are
some
you
people
talking about how
have
good
been
they
vanilla their whole
are?
life, and they get a hold of some spicy jalapeno, and they turned out. And now because they turned out, this done got turned out. And
Okay.
now in their mind, they don't want nobody else to have that because,
Lord,
oh my God, it's so good. Now they want to claim ownership rights and all kinds of stuff.
yeah,
Because
I
again, a lot
understand.
of times, a lot of stuff when people get to turning crazy and all of this kind of stuff, we laugh and joke about it, but it gets serious because it's something done happened up here. And so that whole friends with benefits thing, and then we start talking about the friend zone. And when you want to friend zone somebody, a lot of times some people don't do it in a delicate way. You're dealing with somebody's feelings and emotions, and you're dealing with somebody who might be mentally unstable. They might have been okay for a minute, but something triggered, something in that sexual act, something in that moment, something done triggered them. And now they done flipped on to something different. And at this point, I ain't saying you're 100% responsible, but part of you is responsible for how you delicately handle that situation, or you gonna have a nightmare on your hands. Because it's not just about the other person, but your life about to get messed up too. So you got to think about that when you start talking about friend zoning people. You got to be careful about that whole friends with benefits situation because, okay, let's weigh the pros and cons. I know that this text is probably gonna be the bomb.com.
But my
But
thing
does
is,
this person have a history of drama? And by drama, I mean other folks that they dealing with that don't know how to be mature and they don't handle
yeah,
the situation. Because see, if that person ain't handling their business outside the bedroom, checking their rotation,
or modern,
you got to question whether you want to be in that rotation.
and not even being funny in your day, the little black book.
That's what I'm saying. That's a rotation. You got to know how to handle your rotation when you start talking about friends with benefits and different stuff. How are you managing that?
Who made that quote that Reggie said? Was it Maya Angelou?
When people show you who they are, believe them. I don't know, but a whole lot of people say, I say it all the time.
I
Because
know.
at the end of the day, don't ignore the stuff that you don't want to see just because you want your itch scratched. Because a whole lot of temporary stuff lead to long-term pain. Listen, short-term pleasure sometimes leads to long-term pain. And not just in your pockets and in your mind, but sometimes physically. There's a whole lot of people in the grave right now.
You said people in the grave.
A whole lot of people in the grave right now.
Because they didn't.
Because they chose short-term pleasure over long-term common sense. Because I wanted to ignore this here red flag that was huge, and they came out and stabbed me. Like, seriously. I know this. I literally just had a conversation with somebody this week that was sharing something with me about how this couple was divorced. They were in the process of separation and getting a divorce.
Okay.
And prior to, though, she had said that if he ever cheated or left her, basically she was gonna kill him.
Yeah.
Nobody believed it because it was just kind of like, oh, you just joking, you're not serious, blah blah blah. But this woman knew who this meant. Like, they had been separated. Divorce ink ain't even drawn divorce papers. Man got somebody else. She done called this woman, then set up for them to meet somewhere. When he shows up, she jumps in the car, drives off, and stabs this man and murders him.
So, speaking
this
of,
is serious. Like, you have to know when people tell you certain things. And I'll tell you, this was a married couple. This situation where like married and divorced. Some people can, get divorced, separate, and still be friends.
Have you seen the movie with Jay?
Right, and genuinely still be friends. But some people cannot do that. And so I just want to encourage you, don't be out here not paying attention.
So I've had that remark made at me before. If I see you with anyone else, I'm gonna F you and that person up.
Right.
And it has been times where I was warned before I go somewhere, because y'all know my ass is always out every weekend. In the summer, not in the wintertime, but in the summer, starting my birthday. That's what from Thanksgiving to my birthday, I come out on holidays or birthday. Right. But from my birthday until about Labor Day.
Right.
I'm turning up. I'm in the gym every day. But anyways, no. And I have gotten the warning, hey, so-and-so's here, and they know you're going to be here. Now, granted, no one has ever had the balls to approach me, But it's just like the fact that you are that worried and bothered. If you have a lot to offer in general, and this is my advice to anyone who's been through this, if you suffer from low self-esteem where you have a lot to offer, you shouldn't be stuck on somebody who does not want to deal with you. Love yourself enough to either just learn to be single and move on and find someone else, or go to the people who are showing you attention. You never know what's out of it. Do not use your anger to do that. Because here's the thing: after you beat the person up or cut their tires or whatever, what did you accomplish? You have a record. Because I know people try that with me, and I have cameras all over my car. So I dare you come within 10 feet of my car, and my cameras turn on. So you try to jump me or something, whatever. You will never be allowed to come out in DC anywhere. Good luck. Right. What is it worth for you to continue to be miserable that I'm still fucking someone else?
Right.
And you still fucking mad. So whatever.
I think that somebody made a comment that the friend zone is not a bad place. It's not. Sometimes it's better to be friends with somebody.
Because people associate it with rejection.
Yeah, and it's not. The friend zone does not mean rejection. You can get more out of a relationship with a friend than you would with anything intimate. That's you know what I'm saying? Like some of my great friends are guys, like we don't talk every day, but I promise if I pick up the phone and be like, bruh, it's gonna be like, okay, sis, break it down what you got, like who you with, what you need me to do. And they're more valuable to me. Those relationships are more about because it's a listening ear. And sometimes those friends can give you a perspective that you don't even consider in certain situations. It ain't even sometimes about relationship, but in life in general. Right. So you have to also weigh, okay, you know what? I really like this person, but why do you like that person? Is it because you just want to have sex with them, or do you genuinely enjoy their personality? Because if you enjoy their personality and who they are as a person, then the friend zone isn't going to be offensive to you, or you're not going to see it as rejection. You're going to see it as an opportunity to at least have this person in your life, and you can develop a great friendship and long-term something. So when other folks come and go, you still hanging around.
Well, let's take it a step further. There are people who sometimes you are better off as friends.
Come on.
I'm not going to name anybody that anyone's familiar with on this show, but that's how we started off. And I realized that me and that person were just good. It was sometimes, and I've seen other relationships where even in my circle of friends, where people try to start off,
right,
whatever, or they met on a hookup basis and now best of friends. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, it's debatable if you want to tell whoever you deal with if you and that person has a past. That's your choice. I don't care. But
you got to think about that. But no, you make a point because you got to think about that. You got to think about that. But I agree with Trevor that, you know, I would rather have a lifetime friendship than a part-time lover, because sometimes things come and go. Real friendships do last forever. Lovers do come and go, unless you get a situation where you truly marry your best friend. But that don't mean that that's the only friend that you're going to have. Like your spouse ain't going to be the only friend. That's the only friend you got. That don't make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like there are some of the most successful relationships are those who have friends outside of their marriage, because you got to have that balance. You know what I mean? And I feel like, to me, the friend zone is that balance in any type of relationship in your life. So that way, if you heavy on the sex over here, then what do you really have if you don't have no sounding boards? Because everybody has sex with you. Can't confide your deepest secrets or your fears, because they're gonna turn around and use them against you probably. Because they don't really care about you. They care about what you offering. Again, they care about their itch scratch. Mm-hmm. They're not really caring about who you are on the inside and what you're going through. So you're having a crappy day.
Speaking of that, fellas who sleep with women as friends with benefits, if you're not using protection or she's not on birth control, you're friends with benefits. Sorry, it's got a wild text. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, sorry. I think someone sent me the wrong message. Okay. Anyways, fellas, you not only have friends with benefits, you're going to have a child who you're going to need to get benefits for.
Correct.
You're gonna need to add them. And I'm gonna tell you, any job you have, no matter how good your job is, anyone who does not have children, you know, your healthcare plan can be anywhere from $20 to about $70 every paycheck. When you put a dependent on there, And in some cases, if the woman is not working, but they have to have prenatal care, you have to put another dependent.
Yep.
Dr. H, do you want to enlighten them on how much will come out your check? How many times you have anyone who signed up for benefits on their first day of work? It lays it out. It says PPO plan. It'll be $40 every 2 weeks, but it literally says for a child, it's another $90 for a child and a spouse.
It is expensive when you start adding family members and stuff like that, and that's not just healthcare. That's not including dental and vision. That's just basic healthcare. It's expensive. Like it's almost $400 sometimes, depending on your plan for an individual. So you start adding family members, you can easily be over $250-$300.
So just to educate people real quick, just when people think just because people do well, have a good job, not speaking for me, you don't know what else they got to take care of. Especially
you really don't. You really don't. You don't know if people got warrants. You don't know if they got, you know what I'm saying? You don't know if they got garnishments. You don't know if they got, massive debt. You don't know. Like you genuinely don't know. And this is why you got to be careful, because everybody you sleep with, they might just want to find a way to get inside your house so they can snoop around and see what you got and take stock. And they start, okay, let me mentally take, okay, that costs around about this much, and that costs around about, and they over there shopping in your house.
I wasn't ready for that.
I'm just saying, like, you really got to be careful. So if you're going to be friends with benefits, okay. I'm going to be honest, like back in the day, my friends with benefits, you ain't come to my house. We going to a hotel, I'm going to your place. Because when I'm done, I'm getting up and I'm going home. Like, what we ain't doing is this. Like, that's all I can say is I can just say for me. That was, and I'm talking about this back in the night. This is back in the day. Cell phones didn't have cameras on them. But you know what I'm saying? But a lot of that was for safety reasons, because I don't want this dude knowing where I live. And I never took a straight shot home. I always drove around somewhere. And sometimes I went to, if I had a friend's house that I could go to that was a dude, they don't need to know that dude gay. They just know it's a dude here.
But the thing is now, I hate to say it, people don't care that much no more.
No, they don't. It's wild.
And I'm going to say this comment, I'm not rocking any feathers, LGBT community. Sometimes you don't even know what they actually are.
No, they don't. You don't.
I saw that.
There was no case in point. There's a picture on, matter of fact, it's on my Facebook page. I don't know if I reposted, but this dude said he came out the house in a bonnet. He's straight.
Yeah.
But he had a bonnet on covering his dreads. He had to take his dreads off because dudes kept hitting on him because he looked like a girl with the bonnet on. I'm gonna
tag somebody real quick.
But that's a good. So you make a good point. That's not shade, but the true reality is you don't know a person's sexual. I can't even tell you how many strawberry letters there have been of transgender people. There was one I remember many years ago. This woman had been married to her husband for years. He wanted a child, couldn't figure out why they couldn't get pregnant, but she had been lying to him for years that she was transgender. Never told him that. When you can't have no baby, you don't even have the organs on the inside to be able to produce. And now she finally talking about, how do I tell my husband, we've been married for 8-9 years, almost 10 years, that I can't give him a child because I'm transgender. Like, had the surgery and everything, so he would not know, obviously, because so it's like, wait a minute, how do you lie to somebody that long? So I don't, and I don't want to get too much off topic, but I think you make a valid point in that. And so we're having conversation. You gotta ask a lot of different questions to be honest, because you don't know. And this point about hurting people is so true. When you damaged on the inside, you gonna hurt people unintentionally because all you focusing on is you and your pain, and you're not dealing with that pain. You're not really healing. You just acting out.
Right. Well, I'm not gonna disclaim. I'm just gonna say this: regardless of what you are, who you sleep in bed with, this just goes back to tying in that the common theme here is just be upfront. If you
Yeah.
just want to smash, say that. If you
Yeah.
are, and there's times, and I'm gonna bring this up too, back to open relationships. There's been times where I've seen people meet someone at the bar or whatever, and they will bring that person to their significant other and be like, "Oh, meet this person. They're with the shit."
Right.
Excuse my language. I know some of your listeners are holy in the Trinity of the Lord, but you know,
Bless their hearts. Okay, we real people having a real conversation.
no.
It is what it is. But the
I know.
reality is,
My opinions are not the views of hers. Let me stop. What's the disclaimer they always say? But no, but the honesty is, but those are the things that work. And same thing like the friends benefits thing. Just be real. You meet on, because I know Tinder's out there, and Tinder is supposed to be for meeting people. But I have seen oh Lord, I've seen situations. Where are you headed?
I really forgot there was a show. Why? I don't
But
know.
you were just messaging before the show.
Epiphany wasn't.
Yeah, you were. You literally said something to someone who's not on here right now.
No, I did not. Look again.
I will. You okay? Anyways,
you gotta know. Let me friend zone my friend real quick.
Oh,
Friend, it wasn't me. It wasn't.
then who was it? Someone hacked you?
No, but you did not read correctly because the only thing that I said was my bad.
Okay.
and she did just text that just now.
Oh, I didn't see that part. I just saw that when you sent the link to the show, Troy, you said some blessings to Troy. After the
that was not
link
me.
It was not you? Okay. Then I'm tripping.
Yes.
I need to go back to my LASIK surgeon and say that they messed up.
Yes,
and get my money back.
Get your money back.
I will.
Get it all.
You know, I do that too. When I wake up the next morning after it's having drunk tweets, I do the same thing. Like someone took my phone and played on my phone. It wasn't me. And I believe that.
I always know when it's a drunk tweet. I always know when it's a drunk tweet. And that's my only response is, this was a drunk tweet. Well, I'm like, yeah, it's going down in a minute.
This is like a lot. Okay.
So yeah, great topic, Piff, on obviously talking about the friend zone, and we really have just been kind of getting into talking about just friends and benefits, but also the fact that sometimes the friend zone is not always a bad thing, but it just kind of boils down to communicating and just having that direct conversation up front, and not trying to play no games with people.
Piff, have you been in a situation where someone you thought was just your friend and they didn't know that, and then they got upset with you or stalked you or tried to demean your character?
Of course. But the issue for me is I let them know, like, we're friends, but we're
Sometimes
friends.
you tell them that,
but we're
but
friends. And how about we're friends? And we're still friends, but then at some point, I have to say, if we're not seeing eye to eye, then we can't be friends. And then that's when they come back, well, I just want you in my life. If we could just be friends. But I tried to do that. So at that point, I'm done.
Yeah, that's a red flag to me, that because all you're going to do is the time trying to convince me to change my mind.
Well, in cases, some people are really good people. Like, for instance, if you're a great person and you work in a field and you do a lot, you teach in one of the hardest cities to be a teacher in the entire world. So in the fact that
my resignation is in, baby. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, you have, and you've changed lives. But what I'm saying is, you have a good heart. Dr. H definitely has a good heart. I do, to people who deserve it. And when you treat people good, sometimes their family or people that they had friends with or people that they're even dating, right, treat them like trash. So even when you are nice to them or doing nice things, like if you invite them out and then you pay for their meal knowing they don't work or something, they take it as a gesture of it's kindness, but they might take it more to heart because they have never been treated with, amity before. So then they'll start developing feelings. And then when you don't return those feelings, you're a bad person and you let them on. So sometimes you have people who, even when you do let it be known what it is, they don't want to accept it because of your actions might not correlate. Does that make sense?
I think that they think you're a bad person, right? I think
You want to see some of the messages I've gotten?
No, I'm going to explain what it is.
Okay.
What it is like when you think of your favorite food, whatever it may be, and it could be from your mom, it could be whatever restaurant, whatever, right? You think of this thing, and sometimes you want that favorite food. And let's just say you go sit down at your restaurant, and they're like, we're all out, or we didn't get the ingredients. And you be like, wait a minute, I only came for this apple pie, or whatever the heck it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of think when people get it in their mind that this is not gonna work. Okay. When people get it in their mind that they want to be with you, it's kind of like you're their favorite food and they cannot get rid of their want. Now, is it your issue? No, that's not your issue. But I don't think that it's a hate. It's kind of like, dang, I can't have what I really want, and it hurts me. And so a lot of the time people are overcome with emotion.
Right.
So instead of them being like, my feelings are hurt or whatever, because a lot of people have communication issues. We talked about this 100 bajillion times on the show. And because they're incapable of saying my feelings are hurt because they lash out because they cannot have you. That's where that comes from. It has nothing to do with hate. It's more of hurt. And like they wish they could just stop their feelings. I think that there's besides being in the friend zone, right? When you talk about people and their feelings and them trying to control their feelings, that's what that is. I'm trying to control myself because this person doesn't reciprocate how I'm feeling. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah.
So
it goes back to what we were saying about hurt people hurting people, because you lack the maturity to deal with what's going on inside of you. So your focus is on how you address your hurt at the expense of everybody else around you.
Right.
So I want what I want at any cost, and that's just not healthy. But we see it all the time, and it happens all the time.
Right.
Yeah, so, people want what they want at any cost, and they'll act a fool. I mean, folks act a fool over certain things, and I'm just like, it's not that serious. Like, it's not that serious, but to them, it's like, oh Lord. It's like, okay, like somebody made a comment earlier that good sex
is when we're talking about emotions, though.
Like it's the end of the world.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, I wouldn't.
Go ahead, Piff.
Go ahead, Piff.
No.
Jeff, go ahead.
Okay.
While she figures out how she
you ain't gonna law school professor me. Don't put me on spot. I'm just playing. No. Again, back to the sex thing. Now, I've been accused of something, and I don't need anybody inboxing me. Please do not inbox me. Don't, or like Yolanda Adams used to say, don't send me no letters on her show.
Right.
I have been accused of having something called crazy dick. Has anyone heard that term before?
Oh yeah. Oh, people have talked about that in the comments about you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Lord have mercy. So, that has nothing to do with anything I'm personally attesting to. That is what I was told. Regardless, I don't think that there's anything wrong with, but the problem is some people are unable to not be attached after being sexually involved.
And again, that's what I'm saying. That's why I made the comment that some people might not have ever had really good sex. I'm gonna be honest with you. Some people may have had some vanilla, some mediocre stuff, and they get a hold of something that, somebody turned them out and they can't handle it. So once you get turned out, you know what I'm saying? Once some people get turned out, the concept of staying in that friend zone, staying friends with benefits, staying in that lane.
Right.
It's like, no, I don't want to share this. But baby, listen, like this is why I feel like some people need to come with warning signs. Like, listen, I used to tell people I come with warning labels. Like, but again, as a person, you gotta know for yourself and just don't ignore that inner voice, that inner witness that tells you this ain't what you want. Like, this ain't what you want to do. Go, like Troy would say all the time, sometimes it's best to just kind of deal with yourself and pleasure yourself than to get caught up in a whole bunch of stuff. Kip, I'm gonna need you to give us some value. But sometimes you might need to handle yourself versus, letting somebody else, scratch that itch, because again, once they some people cannot handle it, might trigger something in them. You don't know what could trigger something in somebody. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what people are dealing with inside, which is why we're saying you have these conversations and talk to people and find out, like, even who you want to have a one night stand with.
Oh, okay.
So with that, what I was just like, thank you for. I'm trying not to curse on the show and yell at these dogs. I don't need Peter to come in here. So like I was saying, and my good friend Sean, he must be a couple seconds behind. But what I was saying, going back to what I was saying, some people, like I said, something as kind as paying for them or checking on them every day.
Yeah.
I do that to anybody. I don't hear, like you. I do it to you. If I don't see you for a couple of days, I'll text it like, "Hey, you good? Like, how's everything?" And usually it's I'm busy. I'm working on something. And then I don't know
Troy, I do the same thing with Horace. You got to. Some people don't know how to not read into that, because sometimes, again, you got to pay attention to all the red flags, because some people who are not used to any type of true friendship or any type of, anybody caring half a piece about them, they'll read into it and think, oh, he really care about me and like me. Baby, somebody just being a friend.
Yeah.
Checking on you, making sure that you ain't dead somewhere.
That's me. I don't hear from my people.
But some people don't know how to handle that.
Yeah. Wait.
They don't know how to handle that.
It looked like a fourth person's coming on. Or
no, that's Pip.
Listen, I don't know what I'm doing with this phone, and the shenanigans called my driving. I don't listen, and I had to get gas. It's just a whole.
You need to be safe out there.
Right. I'm more concerned about you being safe and stable than all of this.
I'm all right. Keep going.
But yeah, sometimes you don't know that in just being a friend to somebody, you'd be surprised how many people don't genuinely know what it is to be a friend or have a friend. And I think that's why people have a problem with the friend zone, because they read into everything. So, like Jeff said, if somebody texts you after a couple of days, like, hey, I ain't seen you on social media, I haven't talked to you, are you okay? They want to read into a simple text, just a, hey, I'm checking on you, are you okay text, and they'll read into it because I weep for people like that who don't know what friendship is. So that's why people have an issue with the friend zone being a bad thing when it's not, because you need good friends in your life. You need good friends in your life, but I think that people don't genuinely understand what it is to have a friend.
And then that's when
the definition though is very, what is it, static?
Sit down.
Yeah, because what it means to be, well, I'm pretty sure we pretty much have a close definition of what it means to be a friend, but other people may not have a close definition.
Oh my God.
What it means to be a friend. So for me, listen, for me to call you friend, we got to go through some things.
Right.
We got to know each other for a bit, because that word friend, it means a lot to me. And so, yeah, if I call you friend, it's deep for me. It's almost like,
that's a good comment. I get a good comment.
Mm-hmm. If I, first of all, I'm with you, Piff. If I call you friend, that means you're worthy to come into my house.
Right. Exactly.
Like, at this point, we about to be family. Ain't nobody got time to be just kind of like casual friend. Like, we don't throw that term around. You're gonna be an acquaintance or a colleague, or
when for me, you come in my house and Piff, you know this. You come to my house and I don't pour you a drink, you a friend. Right. If you're not a friend, I don't pour you a drink. I'll sit there and either who you came with will pour you a drink, right. One drink from the bottom shelf, one from the bottom shelf, or I will just look at them like they're crazy. And I'll be like, oh, hey, how are you? You got a seat over here.
When I went over, you ordered other people to pour me a drink.
Yeah, because you're a female.
But I get it. No, you're right.
Because you're a female.
Right. No.
I don't. In my home, women don't open doors. Yeah. Women don't open doors, and women do not pour their own drink or make their own plate.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But that's also hospitality. You know what I mean? That's just hospitality. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that, and that might just be a Southern thing. You know, that's just hospitality. You come in, you're a guest in my home. You know, now after a while, you come to my house one time. After that, you ain't no guest.
Next time,
I go in there and make your plate. You know where everything is. You better go ahead. But I think that this is where we need to, you know, I think that this is where
I'm gonna come over. I'm coming over.
This is where people, you know what I'm saying? That's how, when I'm making some food, yeah, I'm back cooking. But it's important to understand, though, that the friend zone is not terrible. It's not a bad place. I think it's bad for people like Jeff. When Jeff said it earlier, it's bad for people who see it as rejection. And it's what Piff said, it's bad for people who are hurting, and it's bad for people who don't know what it is to be a friend. And I think that we live in a time now where people use, like Piff said, use that word friend loosely, because friend has become synonymous with my hanging partner who, you know, we're going to get flued out. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to hang and have a good time. It's become synonymous with, you know, you're my friend as long as I have need of what you have to offer. Like I said earlier, you know, if you can get me into this place and you can get me next to this person and so on and so forth, you know, it's become a matter of convenience and need versus, you know, really wanting to build a relationship with somebody, and not in an intimate context. But people don't get that.
Oh gosh, these dogs want their own show. They need to make one.
Also,
I swear they do.
Remember, friends. A lot of the time, people don't know the other person that they are calling friend, and that person be having a knife in their hand, just ready to take all you got.
Yeah.
You know, not a literal one, but a figurative one, right?
Yeah.
So some people that you call friend are literally your enemy, but they're keeping you close. So that's why it's just very important for me as a person. You go through a vetting process. There's a vetting process. And you know, I'm very like empathic about certain things, and I feel certain things. And if your aura ain't right,
right, yeah.
So
I think that's important. It's important to have a vetting process for people in your life. I don't care if it's friends with benefits. I don't care if you're looking for somebody to date on an intimate level. You need to know who you are inviting into your life, period. Because again, you don't know who's coming with what kind of stuff. You don't know what their angle is. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow. You know what I mean? It's really crazy.
The other thing is instead of you saying, oh, I'm just their friend, set your intention. If you think somebody is attractive, don't be like, oh, they my friend. Tell them, I think you're attractive. I'm trying to see where this could go. Because you could put yourself in the zone and then end up with your feelings hurt. But it's your fault because you didn't set your intention. And I really believe that you need to be well-intentioned with what you want. If you want something, you need to go after it at the very beginning. Because if
you do not have, because you do not ask,
you are going to go in the friend zone, and you probably not getting out the friend zone. It's gonna take a lot. Right. Now I have a homegirl if she's watching, I'm not gonna say her name. My homegirl got a gang of fine dudes numbers in her phone. I'm definitely not saying her name.
Well, dang. The way you
And
described it.
like a whole, like, she got numbers and you know, and she's like, no, that's my friend. What? No, and that's my friend, like, and has not done anything with any of them, but they're all her friends.
Yeah.
But now some of
Are you
them are
sure,
like
Piff?
trying to talk about
Piff, are you sure?
it's not me. It ain't me. It ain't me. It ain't me. Trust me, it ain't me.
I don't know about
trust
that
me,
one.
like, she
They either are all gay or she's smashing them. I'm sorry, I refuse to believe that.
No, she's not. And she's not. But the thing is that she's like, no, we're just friends. And they, they have girlfriends, but but now a couple of them are like, oh, well, I thought I didn't have a chance. Do you have a degree? Are you intelligent? I mean, most of the people I meet, especially in this area, are not stupid. So I don't understand why we don't set an intention from the very beginning.
Well, that's
say, hey, I'm vibing with you. I'm feeling you.
Well, Piff, if you weren't 35 minutes late, I explained that. But I will summarize again real quick. The reason people don't set an intention.
Did you really just throw me some shade? Did you just throw me some shade?
No.
That's not a good friend. I'm letting you know right now, throwing me some shade is not being a good friend.
Okay, well, I'll be more clear. What I said earlier when you were not present on the show was what I said was the reason people don't always state their intentions. For instance, let's be real here. There are those people who they're like, well, if we're just going to have sex, then I can't take you seriously. But some people just want to have sex. But they don't, and they know if they tell that person that's all they want, they won't be able to have sex with them. So that will mislead them. And
that's not true either.
Well,
in some cases it is, but I think some of it is.
And some people are like that. So
yeah,
that's why they mislead them.
I think in some cases it's insecurity.
Well, I'm saying that some people will manipulate them into.
It's insecurity in either scenario. It's insecurity. It's either insecurity from the perspective of, okay, I can't have what I want, so they're going to reject me by putting me in the friend zone again because they don't understand, or it's insecurity that I think they're going to reject me, so therefore it's safe for me to just play this little game of being coy and hang around and feel it out and all this other kind of stuff instead of just say what you want and mean what you say and deal with it. It's like, okay, and again, it's just maturity and getting over certain things. You don't know if somebody feels the same way about you that you feel about them.
Lord, in the name of Jesus.
Worst case scenario is they don't, but at least you will know.
And you don't know what someone's going to be down for either. So that's the other thing. A lot of people, and I will say people, a lot of people have this mindset, oh, I want this, but I guess I got to do this because X. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're convincing yourself that you have to do something. You have one life to live, and that's not it's literally not a soap opera. It's your life,
right?
And if you don't treat it as your life, then that's on you. If you're sitting here convincing yourself of X, Y, and Z, then that's you. But I'm going with ABC over here, and I'm going to set my intention to be very clear because I don't have time to waste. So, there's somebody for everybody, and just because somebody isn't down for whatever it is you're down for, then move on. Then you shouldn't have different issue with the friend zone because the intention was set. And then you walk away. Yeah, they might be this or they might be that, but you don't have strings attached and relationship. You just met them. You set your intention. It didn't work, and you move on.
Right. But I think that part of that too is fear, because some people are genuinely afraid, and and fear is real, and it can really paralyze you. So until you learn how to get over that fear, and again, you got to have that self-confidence to get over fear and just be like 2 tears in a bucket. What do I have to lose? And you have to see that you're valuable. You may not be, that person's cup of tea, but to somebody you are a cup of tea. You just got to find that person, but you can't allow the one person that you got your eye on to just trash your whole mindset about getting out there and creating the kind of life that you want, the relationships that you want with people. It's just a matter of maybe what you're looking at isn't the right thing for you. Listen, everything that look good to you ain't good for you.
Okay, everything is glitter is not gold, right? And at the same,
and so sometimes that friend zone is a blessing. And then as you get to know that person, you realize, well, oh, Lord, you messed up. Let me help you. Because you are a little jacked up. Let me help you in this area. Like, you really need a friend. Because then you realize that person ain't really got no friends. They think they got friends, but when you get to know them, it's kind of like, you must not know that you really ain't got no friends. Like, these people really don't care too much about you. They just have need of you and what you have to offer, but they not really your friends. And so you just got to know your place in people's lives. That's just me. I don't know. What do I know though?
All right.
What do I know? I don't know.
We all been through it. Good topic, Piff.
This was a good topic.
Thank you.
It was, because people feel like
how's she gonna mic drop? I know
it's her phone. She's driving, so she's probably in a bad space. But I think that this is a good point, Trevor, about taking responsibility for flirting a lot. This is what I was talking about like earlier when people send mixed signals. But a lot of it has to do too with the other person, because they don't have to receive it the way that you mean it. Like, it's okay it's just, we all adults. At the end of the day, we all adults. So sometimes some flirt, you have to know when to draw the line on some stuff. But it's like, ain't nothing wrong with a little harmless flirting. It's just at what level of flirting, you know what I'm saying, do you go? How deep do you go with the flirting? You know what I mean? Is it like disgusting PDA where people are like, you need to get a room? Or y'all need to go handle that? Or, you know what I mean? So there's different levels of flirting, but I don't know. Oh, he mad.
He'll be all right.
Right, I got that. I'm like that. I'm like pip face, like, yeah. But yeah, sometimes you keep your circle small. And I agree with you, with like mine real small. I don't need no new friends. I know a couple years ago they was talking about no new friends. I agree, because I don't need no new friends. Not necessarily. I got my circle. I got people that I confide in. I got people, like, it's just like you got people in your life that I believe that God orchestrates for you to cross paths with. Here's the thing. I think that some people don't know when to let their time limit go. So when some relationships are not long-term, some friendships are not lifetime. Just accept that. There are some friendships that are seasonal. And so when those seasonal friendships run out, or relationships run out, and you try to turn it into something lifetime, and then you want to know why you having issues, because that season has come to an end. They're not ready to continue to be your friend, because they don't want to grow and mature and do what's necessary to maintain that. So now you got extra drama and other problems with that friend zone situation. So you can't, stop extending. You know what I'm saying? It's like, listen, you want somebody, you give somebody, a weekend or a week to sleep on your couch, and they decided they want to turn it into 6 months. You overextended. Like,
first of all,
that's going to stretch people.
Do not give somebody that you don't a week to sleep out, because there are landlord-tenant laws, and in that week they could technically be your renter. That's my into it. But going back to friend zone, I think that honestly, if you just set your intention, like I said, and just be honest. Like, I think the problem is we can't be honest with ourselves, right? Because if we have to look at ourselves in the mirror and be honest, and we know ourselves the best, that honesty sometimes, looking in the mirror, is very scary. Yeah. So, accepting your, flaws and all, as Beyonce says.
To thine own self be true.
It's very difficult. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you kept yourself and know yourself, and then, I think honestly, if you set your intention again, if you set your intention,
yes, Lord,
there's gonna be some down for whatever it is you're down for.
I agree. Well, y'all, this has been a great conversation tonight. We're going to end a little bit early, but it's been a great conversation on the friend zone. I think that we've covered a lot, and shared a lot of different perspectives. The reality is the friend zone is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just all in your perspective and how you choose to look at it. But, we share some great tips. At the end of the day, one of the first things you got to do, and everybody is just, the consensus has been, you got to communicate. Like, set your intentions from the beginning. What are the expectations, and come to an agreement from the very beginning. And I think you should continue to revisit that conversation when you feel like somebody want to kind of come up out of that agreement, and you're not on that same level. You feel like y'all not on the same page no more. You got to keep having conversation, because that's what grown folks do. We just keep talking. You just got to talk it out and talk it through, and you'll figure out, you know what I'm saying, what the best thing is for you in your life and your relationship moving forward, because it's not all, it's not always the way you want it to be. So, you guys, we want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. Y'all were awesome in the comments, and it was got a little bit deep there at the end. But the reality is, we just want y'all to have some safe relationships and just make conscious decisions about who you let into your life, because at the end of the day, you exchanging more than body fluids when you let somebody between your legs.
Oh my. All right.
You exchange a lot. You really do. And it gets really deep. And that's when some people can't handle it. So, the friend zone is not a bad thing, because you just have to weigh, what's the value of this person in my life? Is it more than just this itch in this short-term moment, or can this be something more beneficial to me in the long run? And that's where, you got to look at it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, again, I think it was Ike who said it earlier, I'd rather a long-term friend than a short-term lover, because lovers come and go. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jeff and I have been knowing each other since when? Like, when was we at?
Hold on, say that last part again.
How long we been knowing each other?
Oh, yeah. A million
years. For a long time. You know what I mean? Like, a long time. Long term, like, we fell off because, I moved away, obviously, but it's like, as soon as we connected again, it's like no time is lost. That's how you know you have those long-term friendships. That's what matters. You can connect on so many different levels, and we learn from each other. We bounce things off each other, and just pulling things together. Clyde, I've been on Clyde since 1994. Baby, we go back since 94. That's a long time to know somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish somebody would. You know what I'm saying? I'll go dig a ditch and put somebody in it if they mess with Clyde. You know what I mean? Like, that's a friendship. That's my brother. You know what I mean? And I think that when it comes to those things, yeah, you might find somebody attractive, but what are they offering other than that attraction? Some friends with benefits are okay, hey, but understand that benefit means just sex. It ain't too much else coming with that. But at the end of the day, you got to know that what's more. Yeah. Okay. So Trevor, I'd rather have a lifetime friend than a part-time lover. Thank you. So that's what it is. He said, I'd rather have 4 quarters to 100 pennies. So look at the value that people are bringing to your life. If you know this person come with drama, and trust me, in some circles, y'all know who got drama. If you go out and you hang out, you know who come with drama. You got to weigh whether, now I don't care how good people be telling you about how good they are in the bed, or how good they are with this, that, the third. What other value are they adding to your life? Because if they come in with a bunch of drama, is that what you need right now? Like, Jeff done broke it down to you too. If you having casual sex with people, please, y'all know we are advocates on this show. Please have safe sex, because listen, children and STDs are expensive.
Or if you're a man, prep squad. If you're a female, prep squad. That's okay. Women can get PrEP too.
Right.
PrEP is not just for the LGBT community; it's for everybody.
It's for everybody, especially if last year we talked about it. Because if you are allergic to latex, there are some women who are allergic to latex. Candy Skiggy, she's not on tonight, but she's allergic to latex too. She shared with us, and so. When you are allergic to latex, there are alternatives, but please make sure that whatever you do it safely. You know, we're not advocating one way or other, do whatever you do, but just do it safely. You know what I mean? So we appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight as we close out talking about what the friend zone. Again, it's not, the friend zone is not a bad thing. It's really not. It's all in your perspective and how you see it. So we'll catch y'all on the next episode. We appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.